Maheshwari on the show. And Nischal, hi, very good morning and thank you so much for your time. So the market opening today is quite decent, but it's been the trend, one day up, one day down. But let's talk sectors then. And Nischal, what do you make of the pharma space right now? Because some reports suggesting that the tariff deadline is pushed for a couple of weeks now. But initially in the earnings season, what was interesting to see is that select companies were actually talking about shifting some of their manufacturing base to the US. In this scenario, where the uncertainty is still around, the pricing pressure in the US still persists, how are you placing your bets? Any of the companies that look good to you right now, which you believe are ready in a bigger fashion versus the rest?
Morning to you and your viewers. So I think pharma as a space, we look at the quarterly results, I think they were decent numbers basically. Having said that, I think I've been maintaining on your channel earlier also that within the pharma space, I think CDMO is one space which has done really well and continues to see a very, very long runway. Because this China plus one is really playing out. Now, when you hear a lot of these companies' calls, they are seeing a large amount of inquiries, not only for the research space, but also for the outsourcing space. So both of them, basically the whole CDMO space seems to be doing pretty okay, pretty well basically. And within the pharma, I think there the challenge is much lower. Because these are all contracts which are take or pay, and that's why I think even in a tariff scenario, basically that doesn't change much. But others, I would be a little bit worried, basically. But having said that, I don't think so that massive tariffs are going to be implemented on the pharma sector because almost 40 to 50% in terms of volume, the generic drugs in US are sourced from India, and that's a large thing to take care of given the scenario that the Trump administration wants the cost come down on the medical front. So not much worried, but I think especially companies which are in the NCE kind of a space where the Trump administration is looking to bring down the cost, I think there the worry is higher.
Okay, so that's the take on pharma on the back of everything that's come in from Trump overnight. But Nischal, give us a sense of how you would, if at all, trade or invest in the entire OMC space back home, both upstream, downstream, given tomorrow is that crucial meeting between Trump and Putin, and that agenda of India's trade with Russia may or may not be on the anvil. But if there is anything discussed on that front, how should our viewers position themselves when it comes to OMCs? Would you say completely avoid at the time till we have some uncertainty, or what would your strategy be here?
So I think tomorrow's meeting, I don't see any impact on the oil prices, at least to me, because whatever the outcome may be, China is the largest consumer and largest importer of Russian oil, and that is not going to change. I don't think so. In India, I think overall out of the total exports of Russia, I think maybe 5 to 10% is what is India importing. So whatever India may go do post that, I don't think the prices are going to run away from here. So that way, I think oil prices are going to be more or less stable within this range. Having said that, I think in that kind of a scenario, given that the OMC space itself has corrected quite a bit, and I think some of these stocks look interesting now. So on a valuation basis, I think some of these stocks could be bought.
All right, so that's the take coming in on select counters to watch out for. But Nischal, what's the current take on the IT space rather? And because for today we are seeing select counters buzzing on the back of the news flow. It's Infosys, which has agreed to buy 75% stake in Telstra unit for $153 million. But along with that, Nischal, after not a great set and the earnings season so far. The IT counters are trying to find some ground there. What's your current take on the sector?
So as a sector, basically, I'm still cautious. I don't think so one should be overweight on the sector. But having said that, I think there are selective stocks, especially in the mid cap. One can look at it, where the management guidance outlook still continues to remain robust, and they are doing a sort of a double-digit kind of a growth. So I think we have to look for stock specific rather than actually a whole thing, because the whole sector is corrected also. But on the broader parameter, basically, I would still wait for green shoots to appear in the IT side.
That's the take on IT. Nischal, really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking to us this morning. On that note, we'll let you go.
Thank you.
Well, let's take the market conversation ahead and understand where the markets are headed. What is the view coming in on the market